Hello everyone. Today we're going to start with another tutorial series which will basically deal with how to create a REST API using SpringBoot, MySQL, Hibernate. So let's get started. If you have been following my other Java SQL tutorial of the Employee Vaccination Management System, that was basically a web-based system tutorial series. We're going to kind of pick a lot of stuff from the same exact system just to keep our life easy and then move on. So this is basically that previous series. If you have not gone through it, I would suggest please do, so that we'll have an idea. But of course the new series doesn't really require that you need to understand what happened before, but I'm just going to refer to it just to show you the data actually. So in the previous tutorial we basically created a system similar to this that you can actually log in and look at certain data. So what we're going to do is, the basic idea is, okay, that's all nice and great, but we just wanted to create some kind of interface with the REST API so that different technology or different vendors, if you will, like to consume this data. So of course in that case the industry standard has been to create some kind of data provider, which REST API is probably one of the best one. So that's the first thing. That's what we were talking about, REST API. Then the next thing is, okay, well, we don't want everyone to actually get the data, so we want to secure it. So we're also going to talk about the security. So we're going to secure the API. There are several ways of doing it. I'm going to show you here with OAuth 2, the Open Authentication version 2. But in the tutorial we'll actually use just a basics authentication just to keep things simple. So let's say this was our original system and I have an user ID and password that I'm going to use to log in. Looks like I put the password already, and
in response to the pandemic,
log me in. So the idea is, using that same login and workplace ID and password, we would like to look at this data but based on the REST API. So that's basically it. So let's see how you're going to do it. Well, here's how the API kind of looks like. So this API, these are the endpoints that you can actually call, and let's use it. So the first thing the API is going to do is you have to authorize yourself. So we're going to use this URL to sign in, to say I'm going to use the API. And by the way, this is using OAuth 2. So you can use any REST API tester. I'm going to use Postman because that's kind of like most of the people uses. So this is how we're going to kind of sign in. So we're going to use the API. So our username, of course you have to be a valid user, was API test, and a password would be let's go ahead and click on send. It says unauthorized. That's actually good, because what happens is, of course, I just can't just put an ID and password. Since it's OAuth 2, I also need to specify the API key and passcode, which is as a basic authentication. So I'm going to have to pass a header, authorization, and the value would say basic. I need to get the key from here. So different people, vendors, we can provide different keys, and that's how they would get the authentication. So there's the authentication key, and then now let's try to send it. Nice. So it basically said that, this is using the JSON Web Token. So guys, good, look, here's your token, go ahead, use this token. So the next thing we're gonna have to do is, now that we are authenticated, that we are a valid user, we can literally use, and this instruction basically says all of this on what I'm just mentioning, and I'm going to put this instruction as part of the description below so you can kind of try it yourself too. And here there's some secure APIs that I can call. So let's go to some interesting one, employee. I want to look at the list of employees. So let's go to our Postman. And now, one thing I want to show you is, so I want to call this API basically to see the list of employees from the exact same database. And I can use basic authentication. I actually have to use this access token. It's a bearer token. That's how OAuth 2 works. Because I have an access, now it tells me to use this token. So I can't just do send. It's not going to say no, I'm unauthorized. So this authorization is to be changed to bearer. And then you have this big ugly access token. And then if I choose send, it says method not allowed, because this cannot be a post method. This is actually get. So let's click on send, and voila, there goes the data. So rest of the stuffs are actually get methods. So I can try another one, like if I want to look at a specific employee, let's say there's a whole bunch of thousands of them actually. Let's look at number 8. So what we're going to do is this and 8. And you can hit enter, send, and then there you go, it gets me that. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's say we wanted to see all the vaccines. Of course. Just gonna make sure we got that same token. And there you go. So we get the whole vaccine. So that's basically the idea. And if you wanted to go to a specific one, so let's say I just want to look at the second one, and that's that. So we're going to build an API like this in our next video. Thanks for watching.